I just asked.
You're gonna get tased if you don't sit
I
down.
ain't did nothing to you. I'll get you, bitch.
Hey, this is Gabe from Enterprise Earth, and you're watching Metal-O-Mania with The Crypt.
All right, this is Marco from the Swedish death metal band The Crown. You are listening to Metal-O-Mania with my chat with The Crypt.
I believe it's time to test your elasticity with our heavy metal load. Welcome to the show.
Here we go, bitches!
You gotta get down.
little riff is rife with sex, death, and rock and roll. Now that's entertainment.
And with a little dead tree seeds, we open up our very first. It's our 245th episode, but it's our very first Tuesday, man. It's our very first, not hump day, but Tuesday episode. And I had to bring in my good friends to help me celebrate it, man. What's up, brother? How you, sir?
I'm good, dude. It's good to finally be back after years.
Yeah, that's right.
Years
dude.
in the shadows.
Fuck yeah.
Come back and mess with you again. Bother your ass at least one more time.
Oh man, many times. It's a near criminal that it's taken this long to get you back on the show. And for those who are following along at home, this is my buddy Max. I'm going to take the liberty, if you don't mind, to
I'm sorry.
Introduce my brother Max from Hangman's Park, who out of Washington State. Dude, we played you guys on the show, what, 4 years ago? I want to maybe almost, fucking.
Yeah, you had, before we even had any songs done, I remember we started talking like fucking, what was that, 4.5 years ago?
Fuck yeah.
Long time ago.
I proudly call myself a fan of your project, and even more proudly, if I may, call myself a friend at this point.
Of course,
my brother.
dude.
So.
Yeah, dude. It's so awesome to just be able to bullshit with you again. You're such a good buddy of, like, I mean, all of ours, like, but especially me, like, fuck, dude. It's been awesome to have you be able to stick it out this long, like, because usually things with music projects and stuff don't last forever a lot of the time. It's just so cool that I've been able to watch you grow. Your editing has gotten so much better, and just it's been fucking awesome. Not to suck your dick off before we
finish your thought, please. Finish your thought.
Going. It's been awesome, dude. It's been awesome to fucking go on this musical journey, and you've been an awesome friend of ours, man, especially a friend of mine. So I appreciate to be on here. But yeah, just to wrap up what you said, I'm part of a project called Hangman's Park from South Bend, Washington, a little tiny town, like 1,600 people in Washington State. And we do kind of like a mix of all kinds of heavy stuff, kind of thrashy sometimes, a little bit progressive, definitely raw production. Like we produce it or self-produce. Me and my dad produce it. We have an awesome kick-ass time doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so we just keep it pretty raw and aggressive most of the time, and a little bit of melody every once in a while. And Barrett plays drums. He's a fucking awesome drummer. He's kind of got like a crazy jazz infusion to like a super heavy kind of a thing going on. And then our bass player is Andrew, and he did an awesome job writing kick-ass counter melodies throughout the album. Just awesome counter melodies like on bass. So and then I play guitar and do the vocals. And it's been fun, man. We're going to have 11 coming out here on February 25th, our full-length album, our first like legitimate full-length. It's 11 songs, and the 25th, stick it out, dude. It's gonna be awesome. Rage is out right now. We're gonna play
Rage tonight. I'm glad to have you back. A little bit of filler, if you will, for people who may not know our background. We go so far back that way back years ago now. Getting 4 years ago or longer. We had a contest on the show, even where we had the Draw the Crypt contest. Remember that shit? And your boy Peterson. Michael. Yeah, Peterson. I have a tattoo on my leg as the result of that contest that your boy drew. Yeah.
Yes, he turned you into a crazy monster, dude. Yeah. Fucking like this awesome. It's translated so well to ink too.
Fuck yeah.
It's so fucking cool, dude.
Well, it's funny. There was 2 prize winners. There was the one Mike did that was a prize winner, and there was one that our friend Megan did, and that's the crypt version. That's a zombie that some of you may see on some of our flyers and things. And we've used both. And it's funny because I took both to the tattoo shop, and Scully was with me, of course. And she was like, the zombie one looks just like you. You can't get a tattoo that looks just like you on you, motherfucker. You're not, there's vanity, and then there's that. That's,
the kind of a Kanye West move, dude.
Right.
Fucking build the, Yes, dude.
Right. If
hey,
you
I
do
would
that,
have been mad about that. That would have been fucking badass. That's a flex, dude.
She told me if I did that, I had to demand an apology from Billie Eilish or something. So
the one that Mike did's a little more subtle, for sure.
Yeah, you don't know it's me. Yeah, right, exactly. And it's cool. We'll show pictures of it here while we're bullshitting.
Dope. Yeah.
But very cool, man. So yeah, we go back quite a bit, and I literally have my tie to you has turned into ink on my fucking, you know, a part of my tapestry, my skin tapestry we're building. Speaking of which, by the way, I'd be remiss in my duties if I didn't give a shout out to Orange Tattoo in Annapolis, Maryland, because I just spent the day there the other day adding to my HP Lovecraft arm, you guys. So I don't know how well you can make that out there, but
beautiful. They did the Mike's drawing too for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Orange is awesome. Yeah.
Well, funnily enough, the one Mike drew, the one that the crypt tattoo, I have that one on my leg. Again, we'll show that to everybody here. But that one we did live on the show. We actually did a live show from Orange Tattoo while I got that tattoo. We had Layla come in and,
hell yeah.
That night was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to Mike Peterson for the artwork tonight, man. My drummer from Hangman's Park.
Mike Peterson, good work, man. Good work. Congrats.
Much love to Hangman's Park. We love you guys, man. We look forward to when the full album gets released.
Yeah, Layla seems really nice. That's cool as hell. It's fun that she comes on the show.
I love Layla. Layla kicks ass,
Snipers
man.
is a fun. Yeah, that's a cool group.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's another band that goes back to our, early days.
Yeah.
There are certain bands, man, like the Eyes of the Living guys, you guys,
Eyes of the Living was on the show with us that first time, dude. That's
right.
So funny.
That's
Shit.
right.
Long time.
Well, honestly, Power Trip, man. We talked to Riley 2 days before Nightmare Logic came out, and we were such a fledgling show at that point, man. That was such a cool thing for him to do, to come on our stupid program and talk to us a little bit.
You know what? I think for a long time, this was metal's problem. A lot of metal bands forgot how to write a fucking tune.
No,
they forgot how to fucking write a catchy tune that people were down with. From the beginning, we were really focused on just a riff, kinda. And it was like I said, it was more New York hardcore crossover because we were younger and we couldn't really play, the more complicated metal stuff. And as we've gotten our chops up, it's like we didn't want to lose any good songwriting to it. Kids seem to like my lyrics and learn the songs and come to shows and sing along. I was like, I don't want to lose that aspect of the band to take a backseat to some over the top riff, but so we have a really good balance. Trying to do something catchy, but still is not easy to play. We play pretty fucking fast and I see, I look over after a song and I see, Nick and Blake shaking their wrists out and shit.
Getting the blood flowing again.
Kicking so hard and stuff like that.
Wiping the blood off their fingertips.
That's good.
Seems like a super fucking cool dude.
Oh man, what a loss! What a loss!
Yeah, it's a sad deal.
Well, tell me more about the. Well, you know what? Let's shelf some of the Hangman's Park stuff because we are going to play the song later in the show, and we'll talk more specifically about the build up to that, if we will.
Cool.
More generally, man, you guys, how is it to be in one of the first states to illegally, recreationally make fucking weed happen, man? How enjoyable is that, huh?
It's high. It's a very high time. It's good. No, it's awesome, man. I grew up with it, man. By the time I was 18, I had my medical license and shit. I'm 28 now, so I've been in the Washington weed system for fucking ever.
Well, yeah.
I think 18 or so, maybe 19, somewhere in there. And it's cool, dude. Legal weed is pretty awesome. There's some there's some tax loop hoops that businesses have to jump through that make it tough for them, the weed businesses. Right. But it's cool that there's weed businesses around. That's not everywhere, and that's where I work, and my girlfriend works, at one of those too, and they produce oil and all kinds of stuff, and it's fun. It's an awesome perk to have for sure as a state.
Dude, I'm literally almost twice your age, so it is such a universal shift change from what I grew up with and from what I'm used to, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in coming generations, they'll know nothing of what it was like to freak out about smoking a joint for fear of going to jail. You know what I mean? That'll just, and it should be that way.
Or have some douchebag rip you off for an eighth of weed, fucking run off with your cash. Dude, I had so much of that as a high school kid. Give me vape
parsley
weed.
Or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
Give me vape weed and then say that, it's Killer Brown Bud, bro. That's one of the notorious getting ripped off stories for us is the Killer Brown Bud giving me vaped up weed. Shit like that. So, yeah, no more of that. It's all fucking easy pickings now.
Crazy, man. Yeah. And hey, nobody will miss that shit, dude. My first ever experiences with being robbed and shit were all in the pursuit of getting weed when I was young. So yeah.
I don't think I ever would have been robbed to this day if I never had to deal with illegal weed.
Right. There you
fucking
go,
A,
man.
dude. Sometimes they were my fucking buddies and I'd burn their ass. They'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, give me free quarters of weed and shit, like throughout the years until I was like, oh, it's cool. So
Right,
fuck, that was part of the
good.
game. Yeah,
Right.
that was part of the game.
Right. I won't miss that shit, man. I definitely think the newer generations figured that one out finally. So
yeah, the accessibility. We are the kings of convenience in the modern age, aren't we?
No question. Well, if I may, man, and I didn't set out to talk about the weed thing, but let's go down this road a little bit. You know, if you research the history of our legalization laws in this country, they're very much structured around racism. Let's be honest. They're very much structured around, you know, they didn't like the black guys at the jazz club smoking the weed. They didn't like the Mexican guys at the place who liked the weed. So it's my belief, and I'm no, you know, genius or what, I have no degree in this thing, but I carry around the belief that as those racial boundaries fall away, and I do believe they are falling away, as those fall away, that has helped make this happen. That has helped bring along our
dude, I could definitely see that for sure, because there's so much about the war on drugs being like a racially charged power play in a lot of fucking ways, and a lot of dirty dealings like across the board from the macro to the micro level. And as you're saying, as things become more, people are more aware of that stuff, it's kind of knocked those doors down. And now legal weed, I think, is a really good example of that.
Fuck yeah.
And that's super fucking sad, man. Like,
it is super sad, brother.
You know, how many freaking dudes getting, you know, the shit kicked out of them and thrown in prison for having an ounce of weed.
Right,
you know?
dude. It's crazy.
Not
man.
even an ounce sometimes.
And by
It's
a
crazy.
society that was chugging alcohol by the barrel, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a hypocritical thing, man.
It is, dude.
You know.
I 100% agree with all that, man. For real.
Yeah.
But it's a good sign, like you're saying, man. Like, you know, is that kind of stuff we make that progression as a society, or, you know, your country, like that progression. Hopefully that continues, you know, and more of that kind of, we get more stuff like that. And,
well,
I'm 100%
dude,
agree.
I get some flack back from some of our metalheads out there. You know, I'm an old cat. I own it. I'll never be younger than I was yesterday. But I fucking, you know, I do come out sometimes. Like we did that Rules of the Mosh Pit video. We take a couple of shots at the next generation on some things here and there. I'm not above doing that. But I also will give credit where credit is due, man. And the next generation has figured out that shit better than any of its previous generations, man. You know, we're all in this together kind of shit is, I think, you know, it seems to be, at least as far as you know what seems to be on the rise, as the racial tensions drop, the class tensions, I guess, might be on the rise, perhaps.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But that's.
Yep. And that's connected to it as well, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's and metal, dude. I mean, and I'll go a step further, dude. Like metal itself, you know, things like elitism that's super prevalent in metal and stuff like that. There's a connection to that kind of ideology, elitism and shit. Like, oh, you know, you don't whatever the fuck you hear a melody and you get freaked out, or you hear something else, you know, a fake kick drum and you get freaked out on it. You know, I'm not a sample guy, but whatever, you know. All that elitism kind of branch of mentality is also connected to that kind of what do you want to call that you know, racially charged, classist charged shit. And metal should have metal should have no fucking room for that, dude.
It should no room for that, dude. We've always been the
weirdos,
island of
dude.
Misfit toys, brother. Yeah, I mean,
we've been the weirdos and the people that maybe have been, you know, mistreated or mistreated a certain way, and you can't go around and then mistreat someone else and mistreat them in a certain way, because you know, that's just fucking bullshit.
I fucking love you, Max. I love
you too, dude.
For real, that's so. You're so in my brain with that, man, because that is when I see a metalhead with that stance of looking down on someone or taking their shot at someone, I'm like, dude, you've forgotten what we're doing here, man. You know, you're forgot. We are that we are the castaways. You know, let's embrace that shit. And honestly, dude, I'm an old guy. I'm going to go back to it repeatedly, apparently, on this segment as we're talking here. But I remember slowly seeing the influx of a more racially wide open populace coming to metal shows, man. Because let's be honest, in my early day, it was white dudes, not even white women. I mean, it was white dudes. When I went to early shows in the early 80s, it was white fucking dudes. Now, granted, if you went to Motley Crue and stuff, there was a bunch of the babes and all that. But like, I was a Slayer guy, so it was white guys, man. Yeah. And then, but I remember slowly seeing that change, and the race makeup change a little bit and becoming more dynamic, and bringing more women into the death metal and the thrash metal fold.
Hell yeah.
And that's only made us better. Anyone who doesn't see that. Yeah.
The more that turn out, the more that show up, and and the more that are there at the shows, the more people will feel comfortable and feel like they're, that they can invest in the culture and feel like they can be a part of it. And that just means more people playing instruments, fucking better talent, better bands. Right. It's a completely, the all ships rise with rising tides. It's that kind of thing. You gotta want to have, like you said, girls there that are interested for the music and you're treated right. And like you said, Black kids and, every type of person that might feel like, oh, there's just white people here that are fucking racist assholes. You can't have that. You got to have people, a good scene, man.
How can you be a crazy giant metalhead in today's society and not recognize the contribution that Brazil has made? Just as an example. Exactly. I mean, that's just Germany. You know what I mean? Of all these different places and ethnicities and backgrounds.
Fucking India, dude. Bunch of badass bands
Godless.
From India.
I'm such a huge Godless fan. That
badass. They're wrong. And there's this badass African scene. Like death metal, like leather cowboy fucking aesthetic going on with like kick-ass, like raw fucking bands. Like, because I'm all about the raw shit. I love raw production and shit. And it's kick-ass stuff all around the world, like you're saying. And the more fucking people try to block it off, it's just
you can see the divide, man. You can watch the divide. I don't want to say it's an age thing because again, I'm an older cat and I think I fall on the opposite side of this spectrum here. Yeah. But it's almost an age thing. I'll tell you what, the Super Bowl show is a great example for me. I watched the metalhead reaction in the social media world, and it was very split. Now, on a personal level, I'll own it. I didn't care for it. It's not my thing. Yeah. But it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Right. They didn't make that halftime show saying, let's please the 50-year-old metalhead guy. And that's okay with me. I can live with, you know what I mean? That's fine with me. But, dude, I saw some visceral hatred from metalheads. And I can't help but feel like that's just weird. That's just
delusional cherry picking of things that weren't apparent at all during the show for a normal person watching. And then they cherry pick this random thing that whatever, they saw certain people make a certain dance move and that means something to them. And
crazy.
It's and that's not, I'm not trying to rip up, but that's not a healthy way of looking at shit.
It just isn't, man.
It's not a healthy way. It's just bunk for the scene.
We need to remember, not everything is for everybody, man. Even metal. At this point, dude, I grew up, it was either metal or, the whole 50 million labels of genres wasn't around in 1987. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But now there's a million different labels to it and shit. Not all of it is for you. We need to remember that, people, and it's fine. Not all of it should be for you. Yep. If everything pleased your palate, well, that'd be awesome. I guess, hey, you're a laid back dude and I love you for your progressiveness. But, not everybody's going to love every fucking thing. We've entered into a world now where if you don't like it, nobody else is allowed to like it, apparently. And it's so weird to me, man.
It's so odd. It's so odd. Crazy. I have a bunch of little nitpicky things that I like about music and I don't like about music. But, like, I won't ever shut shit off completely and never have an open ear for it ever. Like I said, sampled drums, like, I'm not crazy about that practice. Like, and if I hear a sampled drum, like, oh, they're using sample, like, that's cool. Like, and I'm like, oh, it's not my favorite. But, like, I try to listen through it and try to keep an open ear. And, like,
now, you brought up sampling, so I'm at least going to step my foot there. I have taken shit in the past for shitting on the hip-hop genre a little bit. Our mother station is Radio VPS. That's all hip-hop stuff. I love those guys. I got great relationships with them. And we go back and forth a bit. But, I have taken shits on them before a little bit with the sampling stuff. And, at least be original, motherfucker. And I know I sound like an old guy with that shit. But, that's a different conversation, though. You know what I mean? That's
different, and like I said, it's not necessarily your thing, but there's kind of different approaches on why people go about doing that and how they go about doing it. And
I've been told it's an homage, and I guess that makes it a little more palatable. But
right?
I don't know. I know I'm sounding like an old guy, I guess. Man,
No.
but,
There's a quality. There's a part of that is true. Because they are just taking some. Like someone that's just taking a complete song and just using it as their own. Maybe speed it up or slow it down a little bit. There's a quality of taking something from that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, is there anything wrong with that necessarily? You know what I mean? That's kind of an interesting question to ask. Where is the line drawn as far as making art and making music, and and that's your own personal thing. Like I said, I'm not a fan of whatever specifically sampled drums and shit, but whatever. It's good to keep an open ear and check it out and stuff. You know what I mean? But that sampling thing is an interesting question for sure. For our last record, we had Oppenheimer talk at the end of a song, and there's a quality of that is I'm just taking something, and putting it, having him talk over our metal track. You know what I mean? So there's something there.
Is that sampling? I tell you what, you raise an interesting question. So let's play a couple of songs for everybody real quick, and let's pick this conversation up on the other side of it.
Okay.
Because I do want to talk about that. I want to dive into that a little bit more, because that is a funny thing to the distinction between sampling a voice thing or a music thing, or is there a difference? Is that make it
or a kick drum or a snare?
Right.
Something like that as well. Taking a kick drum from the Black Album and using it like Devin Townsend did on his first solo project. And he took that from the album and used it for his own, So there's interesting questions there for sure.
Yeah, let's dive into that. And for those paying attention at home, I don't want to overlook the fact that we have my buddy Max in tonight, so I got right into talking with you. And of course, not only is it our first ever Tuesday show, it's also on 2/22/22, by the way. There's a lot of twos in the air tonight. My dog's name is Deuce. I just took a deuce before the show.
Yep. I smell like a deuce.
Yeah,
there's twos everywhere.
Fuck yeah! While these songs are playing, we're gonna smoke 2 joints.
Yeah, there we go in the morning.
But we opened up the show with some Dead Tree Seeds. I don't want to overlook that. That is a kick-ass thrash metal band out of France.
Hell yeah, dude!
They have 2 full lengths out, and they just put out an EP that is called Back to the Seeds. And pretty badass, man. We're big fans of those cats. So we opened up with the song 1796 from that new release.
Check them out and give them a follow.
And then we're going to play 2 songs. Speaking of twos, we're going to play 2 songs for you right now. And yeah, listen to my man Max. Check him out and give him a follow. That's what this whole show is about, man, is check these bands out and give them a follow, including Max. But we'll talk about that later. We're going to play 2 songs for you right now. We're going to open up with some Insanity Alert, of course, buddies of ours. They've been on the show a couple of times, just came on a couple of weeks ago again. And we are playing a request this week. Our buddy Andy, who watches the show every week, big shout out to my man Andy, asked us if we would play from the 666-pack release. He asked us if we would play Dark Energon, the video, the song from the new Insanity Alert. We're big fans, and of course, we're happy to oblige for Andy and for Insanity Alert. And then right behind that is Hyperia, a Canadian badass band, who also just recently came on our show for an interview. Please get into the archives if you missed any of that and sub us up. So there we go. Let's play some Insanity Alert and some Hyperia, but don't go anywhere, because come on back. Me and Max are going to be bullshitting in the house tonight on 2/22/22, episode 245 of Metal-O-Mania.
Yo, this is Heavy Kevy from Insanity Alert, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania.
Dark Energon, be mine! Symbiosis! I can feel it! Violent
This creep's just gonna read to himself? What a scumbag.
Hey, this is Colin.
And this is Marley.
We're from the band Hyperia, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania.
They want to
may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
On 2/22/22, that was 2 jams from bands that are literally friends of ours, literally family to us here at Metal-O-Mania. A little Hyperia and some Insanity alert for you guys, man. Get into the archives and you can see our talks with them. In fact, both of those bands have not only been on the show, but they've been on 2 times each. Holy shit, we got to play 2s in the lottery tonight.
Number 2, step forward.
2s everywhere.
Fuck yeah, man. And we're back with my main man, Max, with 22 inches of... Anyway, so how you been, bro? No.
How I been?
But before we went to those 2 songs, though, we were talking a little bit about the sampling thing, man. And I do think some of that's interesting because that's one of those things where, depending on who you talk to, it's such a different take various people have on it. Some people see sampling as a pure kind of an homage to the original material, source material, and have no problem with it. Some people view it, you know, our buddy who we used to do the show with had loudly against it all the time, and, you know, made points to coming on the show all the time to talk about how sampling is basically theft. You know, so it's such a divide, man. And then you brought up an interesting thought, I feel like, right before those songs, which, what if it's not music? What, you know, you used a Robert Oppenheimer quote.
Yep.
I view that differently, to be honest. I do view that as a different thing from sampling personally, but I do see the connection. So
yeah, well, you know, there's different ways of looking at it for sure. And we talked about also like taking a snare or a kick drum from something, or using a sampled kick drum that's electronic, you know, and replacing it for your kick patterns for your recordings. And you know, all that is technically sampling,
right?
But where, you know, where you draw that line could be, you know, kind of anywhere. And, you know, I think it's all kind of cool. It gets a little bit, you know, on the edge of stealing when it's just the complete track and nothing's done to it.
Right.
You know, I think that there is something a little bit fishy about that at times. But you know, the hip hop community seems pretty cool with doing a lot of that. I love when they take soul singers and speed them up and make them sound kind of like high pitched and stuff.
Right.
I think that's kind of fun. You know, but that's straight up, you know, stealing an old soul. I'm not sure about, you know, where they're getting the tracks from. Maybe they have, maybe they have someone come in and sing it.
Right.
But
maybe they have an agreement too in some cases. But...
Yep, and I think they do most of the time. And I think if there's an agreement made, I don't think there's a problem, man. That's really, I think, at the end of the day, if a person's excited about them using your music or their music or
the Aerosmith Run DMC crossover song from back in the day when they did the Walk This Way version of the Aerosmith song Walk This Way, they made it a hip hop version. You know what I mean? They kind of brought it to a different audience. And that to me was one of the first that really kind of did that. And it created such a divide. And honestly, that exists to this day. I know people that hated it, completely hated it. You took it was a cheap sale to the hip hop audience, basically, is their stance. But I know I've seen actually Steven Tyler himself talk about where their album sales from the 70s took a huge upswing all of a sudden in the fucking as a result of that. So that can only be good,
whole new
right?
demographic.
Right.
You get a whole new demographic introduced to it, which is a really good point. I think if it's agreed upon, dude, I think it's fun. If someone is taking something like a whole track or especially a whole song or a whole beat and using it without asking them, that's definitely, I think, in a whole different ballpark. But if it's agreed upon, I think it's all art and it's fun to use, you know?
Right.
I don't use much of it myself, but I think it's fun to hear every once in a while. For certain stuff, it's really cool. Right. A lot of guys use movie quotes as well. You know, movie quotes in the deathcore scene and movie quotes in like certain hardcore scenes are super popular, and they're fun. You know,
dude, I sit in this chair and listen to 60 billion songs a week for stuff to potentially play on the show. The use of voice pieces from movies is rife, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's fun. It often adds to the subject matter of the song, which I think is fun. You know, I'll never be against that. And I guess if it's used that way, and, you know, say you were to write a song about, you know, similar subject matter to, say, Master of Puppets or something,
Yep,
and you
themes
stuck in
and
a
stuff.
quick section of that song. At that point, is it an homage? Does it play into your subject matter? Is it is it theft? It's a weird, you've stepped into a weird, it's hard to know,
For sure. It definitely depends on who you ask, for sure. It's an interesting one, but if it's agreed upon, especially if it sounds badass, then I say fucking go for it, man.
Right.
It's a fun way to spice it up if that's the way you like to produce music.
See, now I'm also a hypocrite because as I'm thinking about this here, there are instances that kind of have grinded me, but only for different reasons, not the musical reason. Wasn't it the Post Malone Ozzy Osbourne collaboration that everybody loved? And honestly, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's awesome, but as an old dude, I guess, I do remember being irritated that like there was these young people that seemed to think Post Malone discovered Ozzy Osbourne, man. Like,
right.
So in that instance, I didn't really have a problem with the collaboration as much as I had a problem with like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, the way the fans dealt with that. And that's another thing too, is like fans, and this might be a segue, but like the way fans you see the fans, the way you interpret them can affect the way you appreciate the music too. You see a certain group of fans, and it's inevitable, dude. It's really hard. I try to ignore that as much as possible and just listen to the music, be like, oh, it's just for the music is what it is. But if I know the fan group is a certain way, it'll like affect the way that I hear that music.
Without a doubt.
Dude, especially negatively. It seems like good fans, take them or leave them. But bad fans, all of a sudden, I want to start picking apart the music. It's kind of fucked up.
Dude, I know people that hate the Insane Clown Posse, have never heard a song. They just, the whole Juggalo thing has, has them so thrown that, for sure that exists, man,
Yep.
That's because I'm a Juggalo? ICP, Insane Clown Posse, yo.
I know there are
bad
people,
for business.
Right? There are people that probably throw me in that box. I'm sure that there are more than a few circles out there that refer to me as that Slayer guy. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I can live with it, but
Okay, listen. Fucking Slayer! Look at that. Slayer.
Fuck it.
If you get loopholed, I'll take the Slayer loophole, especially over the fucking Insane Clown Posse loophole. But
yeah, fair enough. You dig a few more bands than Slayer.
Yeah, oh yeah. Dude, honestly, I'm one of those old guys that comes out here every week and makes a case that our music scene is better today than ever. It's not just anybody who says no good metal's been made since the 80s has completely lost their fucking minds, man. That is nuts talk. So.
And the way you're always super positive with the bands, dude, is super fucking awesome. You give them an open ear. You always fucking are super enthusiastic with every fucking, every band that comes on here, big, small, whatever, new, old. And it's really fucking cool, And I think it's because you keep an open mind to it. It's awesome, dude.
Dude, on a serious note, I am pretty awesome. No,
fucking A. Keep going.
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
I know, fucking A, dude. I'm licking your fucking butthole clean tonight.
I love you, Max. I love you.
You got me all stoned and I'm all lovey-dovey. I'm supposed to be
badass. Man, you're supposed
to
be. It's 2/22/22. We got bone. Hey, it's a beautiful thing.
I just keep fucking the 2/22. There it is.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
We're doing it. We'll give her 2 inches at a time. You know what I mean? And then
there we go. That's all I got.
Hey, man.
I can do that one time.
Hey, but we make up with it with ferocity.
He tries real hard.
Yes, dude. Speed.
Bunny rabbit attack.
Yeah.
That's funny shit, man. That's good shit.
Bringing back the dick joke. We gotta get the dick joke fucking counter going.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's funny. I had someone hit me up recently that said, "Hey man, enough is enough. Where the fuck is the tallywhacker, man? You guys are never
the tallywhacker. Yes, the tallywhacker.
Yeah.
Please, can we call it a tallywhacker?
For those who don't know what we're talking about, we used to keep a running dick joke counter at the bottom screen. Of course, we ended up getting rid of it because nobody ever kept track of it. It always, it would sit on like 5 through the whole show. But we used to have a little dick that sat on the screen with a gold chain and everything, and he was our tallywhacker because he kept count of our dick jokes.
And that little dick was my dick. I'd sit up there.
Hey, what, you think I got a small dick? Huh? I don't have a small penis. My wife thinks my penis is perfectly fine.
See, most people didn't realize, right? We used a real live dick, and it was Max's dick. So there you go. They were like, hey, that dude's from Hangman's Park, right? So that's good shit, man. That's good. Well, you know, you can't help but get baked when you live in Washington State, one of the first states to legalize, dude.
I got too stoned. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm sorry. I tried. I'm just so stoned.
Is there such thing? Is there such thing as too stoned? Yeah, no, not at all. Well, I tell you what, even let's bring in our brother Ethan for a little bit, and then you and me will get on behind this. I got Hangman's Park stuff to talk to you about, and I want to get into, and we're going to play a song from you guys before we get out of here later in the show. So let's bring in Ethan from Great American Ghost. A great band.
Rad vocals, dude. Rad
right?
vocals. Awesome. I love his style. Got such a cool style.
Dude, I have a playlist that, you know, for many people who've been following us for a long time, and of course, you know, the first time you and I talked, I was well over 400 pounds. But I have a playlist of shit that I play when I'm trying to get up a sweat going, and dude, there's a great deal of Great American Ghost on there, and that's for a reason, man. They get you fired up, and I love it. And Ann Arbor Be Safe even is a song I probably play 72 times a week still. So super excited to catch up with these guys. Let's bring them in. Don't go anywhere. We'll play a jam from them, and then when we come back, it'll be me and my main man Max from Hangman's Park for episode 245, Metal-O-Mania.
And now for something completely different.
All right, Metal-O-Maniacs, I'm super excited right now to be joined by my new pal all the way from Boston, who, let's be honest, is a part of the soundtrack to my life quite a bit here these days, man. But how are you today, sir? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm glad that we're the soundtrack of your life right now. That is always my goal, to be the soundtrack of everyone's life.
Literally are, man. Well, and we have a special connection I'm going to touch on in a moment here, but for those who do not know, and of course they should already, but for those who do not know, introduce yourself to the masses, sir.
My name is Ethan Harrison, and I do vocals for a band called Great American Ghost.
A true favorite of mine, my friend, going on right now. You got a lot going on in the background there. I see.
Yeah, I'm in Florida right now. I'm in a bar in Florida. It's called The Haven, and we're playing here tonight. And so there is some very loud, I think it's Poison is being played right now over my head. So hopefully you can hear me, but this is where internet is. So this is where we're doing it.
Hey, we'll make it work. The unfortunate part is the Poison stuff. So, you know, there you go.
I agree. It hasn't been the best soundtrack so far, but we're getting through it. You know what I mean?
Hey, well, it will be when you guys hit the stage, man. And I
hope so.
That's what I'm here to talk to you about. Well, I want to give you a quick insight, if I may. You know, everybody has that story where they plug in their fucking phone and that song starts immediately. Like for my wife hates Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band because every time she plugs in her phone somewhere, it starts. For me, it's Ann Arbor Be Safe, and I still love it, my friend, every single time I plug my phone in. And
I need that. I need all the plays I can get. So if it can automatically play on your phone, that is my plan. That would be my goal. Absolutely.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, hatred stems from the seed is on a constant regular play around here, man. I'm truly in love with that release, brother.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. One of our older ones. I like our new stuff better, but I'm happy that you like Hatred. I appreciate it.
Well, and let's talk about that evolvement, man. Let's talk a little bit about where it was and where it is, if we may, man. Tell me, what is the big if I were to ask you to put yourself in the mindset you were when this thing started, as opposed to where it is now and what it has progressed to, what would that journey sound like a little bit, sir?
You know, I think that it sounds a lot like, you know, Nico, kind of more taking the reins as far as like songwriting goes, because for a long time I was the sole songwriter. And when we wrote Hatred, it was like a little transitional time. Like, you know, Nico was switching over into the songwriter position, and I was kind of giving up the reins and just writing the vocals. So that record has a lot of like hardcore influence. It has a lot of me in it. There's a lot of me in there. Now I feel like because of Nico, he's kind of broadened my horizons as far as like metal music. I won't lie that I'm not really like, when I was growing up, I was like really into Metallica, but I was never really into like Testament or like Obituary or Death or any of those bands. So, you know, Nico has like broadened my horizons a lot, and it kind of made me realize that, like, you know, when he writes a riff and I hear it and I'm like, oh, that sounds like Meshuggah, I kind of know how I want to approach it a little bit better because I know what Meshuggah is, as opposed to when we did Hatred, I had no idea. So I was just kind of fucking winging it. But now I feel like we understand each other a lot better, and every record we get to know each other a lot better, and so it's very helpful. So I think that would be the biggest change. I think me and Nico are like meshing a lot better on this release, and I think it's only going to get better.
Fuck yeah. Well, and as a listener, as a fan, if I will, the sound is fuller. You know, it's a more fuller, more encompassing approach in a lot of ways, I feel like. So.
Yeah, we were kind of going for like a bare bones kind of Pantera thing on Hatred, and because I understood that and Nico understood that, but now it's like, you know, like I said, like the spectrum of influence is just so broad. Like I've said it a couple of times in a couple of interviews, but like right before we made Torture, you know, Nico and I talked a lot about like Nine Inch Nails and Rammstein. He loves Rammstein and I love Nine Inch Nails. Like I've always loved Nine Inch Nails. And then we kind of realized that we like both kind of loved the same thing. I mean, Rammstein and Nine Inch Nails are like closer than you would think they are.
For sure.
So we were like, well, let's just take the stuff that we really like about these things and let's make a record out of it. And so that's kind of what Torture was. And we kind of came to the conclusion that like we can integrate all these things that we like about a more full sound, you know? So that's kind of where we're headed right now. And I think it's paying off. Like you said, like, you know, sonically it's a lot more going on, and I'm very happy with that.
For sure, man. For sure. And in doing so, man, it's the timing of this release and everything is just, you know, as the world reopens, man, the energy from it, I feel like it takes the best energy from a few different things, you know what I mean? And more, sonically, I think you nailed it. Sonically, it's a beautiful approach, man.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you so much.
You may have answered my next question, which was going to be, who is the guy with the hardcore roots there? But it sounds like that's you, huh?
It's me. I mean, you know, I will say though that like, yeah, I think that when it comes down to it, you know, I come from like a punk background. My favorite band in the world is the Clash.
Oh, I love
and
the Clash,
so yeah, so you know, I love the Clash, and then I got into like Black Flag and Minor Threat. And then I kind of discovered I hate this term because all music is melodic, but I discovered like melodic hardcore, which is like American Nightmare and the Hope Conspiracy and Blacklisted and bands like that. And so as I discovered those bands, it kind of formed what I am as like a musician, you know, like I learned how to play guitar playing Master of Puppets, but you know, Kevin Baker from the Hope Conspiracy is like my biggest vocal inspiration. So that mixing of genres is kind of what Great American Ghost was. And it kind of still is, you know, like somebody came up to me the other night and they were like, you know, this younger kid, he was like, I really like your vocals. Like, I really want to be a vocalist like you. And I said, listen to American Nightmare and Architects all the time and you'll sound exactly like me. You know what I mean? So
that's awesome.
It's not that hard. Yeah,
that's awesome shit. Well, I've actually heard it said that as a musician, especially, every time you're a fan growing up and something that you hear kind of gets into your core there and makes you sweat a little bit, an ingredient has just been added to who you are as a musician. Would you agree with that? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think that every musician I've ever met is exactly that way. It's like, I don't think that, you know, you can't like consume something that matters that much to you, you know, that was that important to you. Like, I can't really put into words how, you know, defining of a moment it was hearing American Nightmare for the first time or hearing the Clash for the first time. And if my whole life is music, then there's no way that I'm hearing those things and they're defining me when I'm young and they're not still here. They're very much still here. So, you know, like even like little things that the Clash do, there's like these little pieces of attitude that Joe Strummer has in his vocals that like I try to, you know, integrate into our music. You wouldn't think that because, you know, you're hearing, you know, a metal band, but like Joe Strummer is in there just as much as, you know, Wes Isold is in there just as much as Kevin Baker is, you know, just as much as Sam Carter is, you know, like I that's a modern musician that I really look up to and love his vocals. And so, yeah, they're all there. I mean, you can't be inspired by something and not have it, you know, peek its head out.
For sure.
When you're thinking of something, when you're thinking of something new to do in the studio, you're not really thinking of something new. you're letting all the things that have ever influenced you create something that is slightly different, basically.
There you go. Your own take on the, what makes it unique is that you've got a million influences and they're a little bit different than my million influences, which, at the end of the day, what you create is different than what I'll create. And that's the beauty of what this thing is, I mean, in so many ways, for sure.
And what's cool about music is that human understanding is completely, it's very subjective. So it's like what I hear when I hear the song Spanish Bombs by The Clash is different from what you hear, is different from what my merch guy hears. It's different from every single person, every single time. So, you're not getting the same thing. Even when you hear my music, you're not getting the same thing as I got when I made it. So that's probably the most fun thing about music. So yeah, I think it all comes into play, and I'm very proud to, let that kind of stuff affect what I make. So
yeah, man. That's why, we're kind of out here all the time bitching to people that, don't just fall into one genre. There's so many great things. There's so much, there's a treat out there if you let yourself, dive into it a bit,
Genre is bullshit anyway. I mean, everything is everything.
I love you for that. I love you.
Yeah,
we say that all the time. I love you for that.
True. It's total bullshit. I mean, it is, everything is everything. I don't know what we are. If I had to describe us, I would just say we're a metal band, just to be simple, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think that it's a real, I don't know. I think it's a construct that people use to, pigeonhole people. But in actuality, I just think that you are whatever you are. It just is a matter of who your music speaks to. That's all.
Well, music, like many things in this world, let's be honest, are many shades of gray, and our minds tend to operate in black and white, decibels, if you will. So it's hard. It's a mesh that will never be figured out entirely. But that's why, you're the soundtrack to the pursuit of it, my friend.
I'll listen. I'll be the soundtrack of whatever. You know what I mean? As long as people listen and give a shit, I'll take whatever they got.
Well, let's talk specifically more about this release, man. What's it like to finally get this out in the world? It's a time that we're kind of, let's be honest, we're coming back to life in so many ways. Spring time is targeting, and the timing of this again is beautiful for me, man. This is like, let's get out there and break things again. So how's it feel to get it out into the world, sir?
It feels nice. I mean, honestly, it feels different from anything we've ever done, because it wasn't so like go, 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 because we recorded it in February of last year. So like we had a lot of time, like we made the artwork with Paulo Girardi, and that took some time, and it was like, actually it was very fast, but we just took our time and made it. And then we decided it was going to be an EP, and we slowly made decisions and then picked a time to release it. So, it feels like it's interesting to get the response that we're getting, which I feel very grateful for, but we get the response that we're getting, and it's like, I've had this record for a year.
Right.
So it's like, wow, like weird. It's kind of reminding me that any of these songs are special at all, because I've heard them a million times, which I'm very grateful that anyone could think that they're special.
Well, and they're special to us around here, definitely. So
thank you so much.
Well, and I got to imagine it's a special thing to do live, and my understanding is you're somewhere right now where you're about to do exactly that. Are you finding that live experiences is coming back, and that we're able to really start hitting the road again? Is that what's happening, or?
I think so. I mean, we're trying to be as safe as possible. I took my mask off to do this interview so you could hear me speak, but we've all been wearing masks. We're all trying to be as careful as we possibly can. He's trying to be safe and care of each other. And I think that I think it's coming back. I think that Europe, I mean, we're going to Europe in May. I think that that's going to be the next big thing. I think that Europe is going to be reopening soon. I think that, if you do the right things and you get your vaccines and you wear your masks when you're inside of a crowded place, I think that everybody should be everybody should be open for business as long as people are responsible and they take care of each other. I think there's a middle ground between the crazy don't get vaccine shit and the like we need to lock everything down. Truly, if they're not going to pay us to stay home, then there's really no other option.
Right.
So unless the government wants to take some responsibility and pay us to stay home like they should, then we're going to be out here. Right. That's the beauty of capitalism, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Starvation makes its own plans, my friend. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. People aren't going to stop. If you're not supporting them, then they're going to just fucking take it into their own hands and do what they have to do. So here we are playing shows.
Yeah. So true, brother. Well, on a very selfish level, and let's be honest, so I don't have any degrees whatsoever in virology or any of this type, so I never pretend to be an expert on such things. But
yes.
But on a selfish level, I'm super glad to see you guys back on the road, man. I don't know if it's smart, I don't know if it's responsible, to be honest, but I'm super glad as a, you know.
I mean, I think that we're being as smart and responsible as we can be. Like I said to you, like, you know, I'm not an epidemiologist. I put on the mask when I'm told to put on the mask. I take the shot that I'm told to take.
Me too.
That's it.
Right.
You know,
right.
and after that, if they're telling me that I can go out and I can wear a mask and be in public places, then I'm going to do it. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm desperate for shows. At this point, if it's a suppository, whatever I got to do, man, let's go.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'll snort it. I don't give a fuck. Put it in my drink. I don't care.
Hey, I'm a child of the 80s, brother, so snorting it wouldn't be new. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's good shit, brother. Well, what song should we play for everybody tonight, man? Because I got to tell you, I'm loving the new release quite a bit, and I've gone back and forth, but I'd like to hear your take. What should we play? Should it be Kingmaker? Should it be Torture World? What should we do?
Play Womb.
Oh, there you go. Let's play Womb for everybody. I love it.
Hell yeah.
A quicker punch to the nose, which I'm always in favor of. So
absolutely. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, man, as soon as they hear it, everybody out there is going to say, how the fuck do I get my hands on a copy of Torture? And what's the best? What should we tell them? If they want to get Torture World, what should we tell them?
TortureWorld.com. You can order the vinyl still. There's limited numbers. They're running out right now, so you should probably order them now. And then otherwise, just follow us on Spotify and like our page or do whatever people do on Spotify, and that would be the best thing that you could possibly do.
Fuck yeah. Well, and get a hard copy. Go to Bandcamp now, right? Yeah, get a hard copy.
Yeah, whatever. Steal my music. I don't really give a shit. However it gets out to people, that's all I really care about.
No. We preach against that all the time. Hard copy.
Fuck it. Spotify's stealing my music any fucking way. They sent me a check for fucking $7 the other day. So I mean, whatever. Steal my music. I don't give a shit.
You're not
Come buy
wrong.
a t-shirt. Come buy a t-shirt. That's how we make any money to survive. Come buy a t-shirt.
There you go. Hey, well, you can count on it, brother. In the very near episode, you'll be seeing me sporting mine. I promise you that. So.
I can't wait.
I support badassery, my friend, and you are the definition of it.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that very, very much.
Big fan of you guys, man, for real.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And on that note, I appreciate the fuck out of you hanging out with us and carving out a little time for us at Metal-O-Mania, man. It means a lot.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me. It means a lot that you like the stuff. Thank you for listening. And to everybody, you know, steal my music. Send it to everyone you know. That's all I can ask.
Go see them live and get a t-shirt. That's my addendum.
Do that. Yeah, exactly. That's the addition here.
Right. Fucking Ethan, you rock, brother, very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it. Yo, what's up? This is Ethan from Great American Ghosts, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt. Rock the fuck on. Let's go.
King without a throne.
dropped from my mother's womb. I hit the floor, and I started crawling through hostile territory toward my grave.
That's badass.
It's pretty morbid.
It's pretty dark.
By the by, you should clear out. They're saying there's a monster on the loose. Although, what passes for a monster these days is sad.
are those things?
They're from outer space, like Charlie says.
Bradley?
Maybe there's some government experiment gone haywire.
Well, how awesome is fucking Ethan from Great American Ghost for coming by? A true gentleman and a scholar of our thing. I fucking am such a huge fan of that band. Such a huge fan of that dude, man. Well, I had a blast talking to him, man. Good dude.
Yeah, dude. That's super fucking awesome. It's a great interview.
Fun interview, man. And we'll track them guys down again and talk to them. Shit, you know, that tour that they're on, we've talked to, they're on that tour with Fit for an Autopsy. We've now talked to Great American Ghost on that tour. We got Ingested coming on next week. We've talked to Enterprise Earth. I'm tracking down everybody on that whole bill. Fuck.
Hell yeah, dude. You're getting some of the whole lineup. That's rad.
Hopefully that means that they're liking interviewing with us and they're saying good things about us. So hopefully that's what I'm taking from it. You know,
such a good guy.
He sounds like a good guy.
Oh.
So
you are a gracious host. I'm sure they're saying good things. They have to be.
Well, and I showed them all my penis.
Whoa, nice penis.
But anyway,
then they got to be fans. They got to be fans of your work.
Oh, and also before moving on, I don't want to overlook behind that kick-ass Enterprise. I'm sorry, behind that kick-ass Great American Ghost jam, which was savage, fucking badass song, man. That Womb song is killer.
The Womb, I love that. I listened to that before. Yeah, I listened to that before we got on, and that's my favorite one. It's got a cool death metal vibe, and his vocal style. It's got this awesome duality with it. I'm all about that. He's got like almost old school like emo vibe going on with this like powerful high
death metal
really
aesthetic.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, with a death metal kind of undertone, and the other vocalist got kind of more of a death metal hardcore thing going on, and the way it mixes is super fucking cool. That sound is rad.
Such a fan, man. Go out there and support a Great American Ghost metalheads, Metal-O-Maniacs out there. Oh, and when behind that, of course, we played my pals out of Texas, man. If you saw my pictures where I got my tattoo the other day, I just got a whole bunch of tattoo work done at Annapolis, Maryland at Orange Tattoo. Shout out to those guys. But if you saw the pictures, I was wearing my Cryptic Mutation shirt, man. And we played a song from those guys just now for you off of their Pulled from the Pit release. I'm a big fan. Guys out of Texas, man. That is a debut release from them, by the way. So if you're playing the drinking game tonight, get your drink on. But yeah, Cryptic Mutation, badass band. We played that for you just now. So I wanted to not
kick-ass work, guys.
Fuck yeah, man. Such
Hell
a huge fan of those guys, man. Truly badassery. All right, Tied Under a Buzzsaw, by the way, was the name of that song from their new release. So, all right, anyway, we still have two more songs we're going to play for you, everybody, before we get out of here tonight, one of which is a new Hangman's Park jam I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody. So, but before we get to that, let's catch up a little bit, man. So we gave everybody a little background on the whole tattoo thing, the art thing, we did the drawing thing, but that all goes back to your original EP release, right? Of which I have a signed copy here in our studio, man. So we go back a bit, man.
Yeah.
How the fuck you been the last 4 years, man? How about interesting times, right? I mean,
yeah, especially the last couple years. That's kind of what spurred this along, as well as a few other things. I got a lot fatter.
I got a lot skinnier.
You got a lot skinnier. We traded places.
That's like trading places. I'm Dan Aykroyd and you're Eddie Money.
Eddie
and
Money?
Mandy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking A. But we played, we did a lot of gigging up into the COVID deal. We were on a really good run. We were playing probably like a show a week at least, five shows a month or so.
Sure.
And getting on a good run. And then that happened and kind of threw a wrench in our kind of spokes. But we whittled down. Michael Urban was, in the band, and he like early on with like a couple of these like the kind of the foundations of the song. He had like a huge help. We'd riff together, and that was like the beginnings of Trance and the beginnings of Joy. And so he had a little hand in the album. He didn't play any guitars. He had to work so much. And then there was a bunch of other things that happened with the COVID stuff that was just, it was brutal. And then I was like, we got to make, I have some riffs. I got to get this in here and start recording them. So we, recorded the album about a year ago. We started, I started doing the rhythm guitars, and we started getting something going. And, a bunch of technical difficulties and more COVID scares later, we're done with 11 now. And 11 is going to be this, it's a new era of Hangman's Park for sure. It's a new sound. It's darker. It's more sophisticated. It's sludgier. It's more raw. And I'm really proud of it. And Barrett did an awesome job with drumming. He wrote all of his own drum parts, and Andrew did the bass on it. And fucking, like I said, just kick-ass job with counter melodies on the bass and the new style for metal drumming, in my opinion. He has a new approach to metal drumming that's just fucking heavy, and it's almost got this jazz influence, and it works really well. I'm really happy these 11 songs are as good as we could have done them. And I'm happy to get it out there, very soon.
Dude. And dude, I'm a huge fan of it. And I even go back with the original EP, man. So I fucking love that shit.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh man, we were in our infancy as a band with Greed Machine. We started those songs were literally when we were just a month old. And it was, like I said, like, Irvin, like I brought up earlier, me and him were kind of like the main riff writers, and I would take the riffs and kind of turn them into full songs, if that makes sense. I'd kind of build them from those riffs that we come up with together. And that was like maybe a couple weeks of doing that, a month. And I was like, we got to get in and start recording this. Got super excited and kind of built the band from the ground up at that point, and got, Patrick, our really good buddy, to do vocals. And that was, a lot of these guys were, first time all of them, except for me and Mike Peterson, were the only two guys. And we got Peterson, who was kind of an older, more experienced guy. And he kind of, would come up with these parts, I don't know how he did it, but he'd come up with them really quick. And that's how Greed Machine got built. Me and Patrick kind of working on the rhythm of the vocals. And it's amazing how well that album turned out. I'm proud of that one too, man. For its own reason.
Fun, man. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Well, I like to tell people it parallels us. It's raw. Let's be honest, it's raw. But dude, our show was very raw at that time. It was just such a kind of perfect, you know what I mean? It was a nice blend. We've grown together, man. Here we sit fucking 4 years later, fucking, dare I say it, 4 years advanced,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully 4 years more mature, probably more so in your case than mine, but.
It's the Peter Pan syndrome to the extreme.
I'd hope so, but maybe not.
It is what it is. And to touch on the weight thing, see, at your age, you're supposed to gain weight. At my age, you're supposed to lose weight.
There we go. We're right on track, baby.
We're doing it right, man. Living our best life.
And we still have our elements in that raw foundation, even to this day, dude. Like, and there's something that's close about that. There's a closeness to that kind of approach. And there's kind of a genuinity. I don't know how to say that. A genuineness that comes across.
For sure.
That you don't necessarily get with something that's super polished all the time
and produce the fuck out of. And
an industry standard and doing it your own way.
I could not agree more. I could not agree more.
There's something that is truly ourselves about it.
Well, and let's be honest, in the metal genre, unlike any other, you can get away with that. You can't put out a sloppy pop song. You know what I mean? But there's something to be said for a kick-ass metal, raw, sloppy song, dude. That it connects, it resonates. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Some of the songs I love the most are from early albums from bands that hadn't quite got their shit together. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Some of that early Slayer shit, early Venom. Those guys barely knew what the fuck they're doing with the fucking instrument in their hand, and those are some of my favorite albums ever, and will be until I die. And
that's a big part of what metal is, like we were talking about earlier. Right. It's the weirdos. Metal can be so many things, but there's a big part of it that's rooted in the rejects, the weirdos, people that are doing things differently.
Right.
Not industry standard, and it's I'm happy to be in that camp.
Call me what you want. I'm a metalhead and I'm proud.
Me too.
Yep.
There are people that look at that ball of clay and see something fucking, destructive and want to get in there and assess it out. And those guys, man, those are my people. That's who I hang out with. I built my life around talking to those cats, if you will. So
hell yeah, dude.
Fuck.
Happy to be one of them, man.
Damn right, man. Hey, this fucking ride is ugly. It's tumultuous. It's fucking rife with roller coaster highs and lows. And, we need our soundtrack to be commiserate with such events. Which is why you need that raw. You need that fucking powerful rage, battle cry, man. And
you need rage.
You need rage, brother. What a great setup, man. So tell me a little bit about Rage. Well, I tell you what, tell me about Rage in 1 second. We're going to play Rage tonight to close out the show. But before we get to that song, after that song, which will be our last song, let me just give a quick intro to that, which is Split Lip, is a badass band out of Maryland.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm a big fan of these cats. Never Ending Void is the song and video we're going to play from their release, Eyeless. And I don't want to overlook that because that will be our last song for the night. And matter of fact, they're from Maryland, so I got to track those guys. They're from my backyard. I got to track those guys down. And I'm enjoying their badassery. Yeah. Hey, right. They might be right next door breaking shit without me.
fucking neighbors with their music.
I got to get over there. So big shout out to Split Lip. We're going to close the show. Our first ever Tuesday night show on 2/22/22. And big shout out to those guys. Big fan. So, all right, which brings me back to you guys, which we're going to open this twofer with some Rage from Hangman's Park. Tell me about this jam, sir.
Oh man, it was the first song we got done mixed as our group. And it's a fucking heavy ass. It's a bruiser of a fucking track. 2.5 minutes of just ripping you through. It's sludgy, it's thick, it's just fucking raw, one vocal right down the pipe. My haggard ass is just barking away. It's fun. It goes by, it kind of just punches you in the face. That's the big face punch of the album, if you will.
Fuck
Rage.
yeah.
And it's got a kick-ass lyric video by Joseph Wofford Media. Been doing awesome videos, work with me. And I'm going to have an animated, full-on caveman themed, like crazy, trippy, fucked up video. I have another guy that's directing that. He goes by King Kong 2K11. We're buddies. He's been really fucking cool. And he has a totally different video approach, and he's putting that together for me. And Rage is a banger, dude.
Fuck
we got
yeah,
some more stuff
awesome.
coming with it.
And the full length, what's the progression? What's the timeline look on things going forward?
The 25th of February, so it'll be 2 days by the time this airs, right?
Yeah,
23rd?
wow. Yeah, this one on the 22nd, so 3 days from tonight.
3 days. I'm sorry, 3 days from tonight, dude.
Wow.
11 fucking songs right up your fucking ass, in your
yeah.
fucking ear, pussy.
And now they're here to come again in your ear pussies.
We're going to get in that ear pussy, man. Yeah.
Fucking crawl right up in there.
Yeah, we're going to lube it up with some Robert Oppenheimer over.
Dude,
yeah.
Fucking A, maybe. Stay tuned. It's got some crazy stuff on there. It goes all over the place, dude. A lot of heavy stuff, a lot of dark stuff, some crazy melodic kind of trippy stuff. Just check it out, man. 11 songs fucking coming at you from Hangman's Park.
Fuck yeah.
3 days.
Looking forward to it. I expect, we've talked about, I have the original release. I have that signed here. I have a signed copy of that. So I will be looking for the new one to be signed right next to it, brother. So we'll talk.
Excellent. You got it, man.
I got a kick-ass Hangman's Park shirt. I got the Hangman's Park sticker on the truck, man. Dude,
you've been representing us since fucking before we were even a fucking sperm cell of a band.
I love you, brother. I love you, man.
I love you too, dude.
You guys are DNA, part of the DNA that is Metal-O-Mania, sir. So,
my metalhead guy, my dude.
Proud to be part of that DNA, dude. That's so fucking cool.
Look how we threw sperm and DNA right at everybody there. That's you don't get that in other shows. Yeah.
No, seamlessly. It wasn't even creepy or weird.
Right.
Maybe it was creepy and weird, but it's all right.
I'll throw you a towel to wipe it off later. But before we get to that. Well, dude, man, you really do rock, dude. We're now with our new format, we're going to be doing these twofers. Can I lean on you a little bit going forward to do some of these with me?
Of course. If I didn't fucking annoy everybody throughout the whole fucking, the whole episode, and you guys would like me back, I can totally help out. This was so much fun, dude. I love, and even I just love bullshitting with you. So this is fucking super awesome. And if people enjoy it, then we got to I got to pump through. We'll pump it through.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'll figure out some bullshit topic. We'll beat like a dead horse on some future thing, and we'll do it.
Dope, dude. Fuck yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, man. Well, let's play these last two songs and close out. I'm trying to keep the episode shorter. The push out there is for all of us from everybody is to make these episodes shorter. So hopefully you guys appreciated this somewhat abbreviated version of our show, and we'll try to do better, give you shorter punches to the dick hole. Thank you, Max, for helping me deliver that very first dick punch.
I'm proud to deliver the dick punch to the hole of the dick.
I hope you brought your dick punch card, because the 8th dick is free.
There you go.
You're the man. Thank you for having us, having Hangman's Park and having me. You're the man, dude.
You're the man, brother.
And thank you everyone for watching. And I'm just happy to be part of this group.
Oh, and all of you Metal-O-Maniacs out there, go and support Hangman's Park. Find them on YouTube. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Bandcamp. And you can find them in your sister's bedroom every now and again. So,
you screwing my sister?
Thanks, Max. I appreciate it, brother.
I love you, man.
Love you back, sir.
That's all from us.
This is Max with Hangman's Park, and you're listening to Metal-O-Mania. with Crypt and Scully.
Stuck in the mud, fingers and luck. Once more the tide turns. Rage takes its place. While begging for differentiation. Fear fades, rage takes its place. There's more ways than different of the same. Ancient history has become present. Peeling back a twisted curve. Is there a reason to fix this? Tiptoeing depression, descend into madness, clobber and escape. Tiptoeing depression, descend into madness, clobber and escape. Third wait. Crippled by a moral of my life. Crippled by a moral of my life. Rage, stuck in the mud, seeking to act. Seeking a lesson that doesn't exist, biding your time to jump off a limb. Terrified of what is asked.
Oh, no, sweet baby, they're gonna eat you alive in Hollywood. Oh, you're definitely gonna end up doing gay porn with this tiny little body of yours. Oh, man, kid.
I went to a strip club, and you can always tell how good it is by the name. This one was called the Double Chin. Now, that was not good. $10 to get in, 20 to get out. It was horrible. I went to one, it was a vegan strip club. Can you believe this? Vegans, yeah. I walk in, the girls are so weak. They can't even climb the pole. They're hanging on like koala bears. They were licking the pole for iron. It was so sad. One of the vegans says to me, she goes, "You should go down on a vegan, we taste better." Oh, really? I can speak for every guy in here. As long as it doesn't taste like balls, it's all right, really. Because balls are disgusting, aren't they? Wow. And they stink. Yeah, they do. All right, I'll speak for my balls. On my best day, my balls might smell like a foot. On my best day. And the sack growing all the time. My sack looks like a tent no one knows how to fold up. It's just all over the place. And the penis is ugly, huh? Ew. That's what they should have called it. Ew. Have you ever seen a penis before and after sex? What happened? Before, it's hard, full of Jaeger and lies. It's got a plan. It's on a mission. It goes in, right? 3 minutes, 2 if you're married. It comes popping out. It's all twisted, covered in goo, blinking or twitching. What is it doing down there? It looks like all the odd number Rocky movies. Yeah, just defeated. Thank you.
Somebody's always got to ruin it. Can't ever just be nice.
That's all, bitches.
This is Adrian! And you're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt and Scully.
This is Katie from Pupil Slicer. You're listening to Metal-O-Mania with the Crypt.
This just in. Scientists have discovered that once you've been infected by Metal-O-Mania, there is no cure. Contact Scully right away for more and more metal to feed the dragon.